It would seem that it's getting harder to find a good movie to watch. Well, I've got you covered. This week, I'm breaking down 10 must-watch movies that you might have missed. At the end of this video, you'll find a summary board with all the movies that I review in this video, their ratings, and how suitable they are depending on the mood that you're looking for. Let's get started with animation. If you've been living under a rock, you might have missed that The Wild Robot came out. This DreamWorks picture is incredible. This tale is about an extremely advanced robot that gets stranded into some sort of natural environment. His ultimate goal is to help nature, but nature will always fight back because it's chaotic. No matter how hard nature and the animals will fight against him, he will keep on trying to help them, and it's extremely lovable. And don't get me started with the quality of the image and the animation. It is mind-blowing. I still don't get how they managed to get such a clean and beautiful imagery. The movie is amazing, so I give it an 8.5 out of 10. Oh wait, do you hear that? What is that? Oh, it's the wetness alarm. Yes, of course, I cried so much watching this movie. It is so beautiful that I cried so much and I loved it. I give it a good 6 out of 10 in moisture spectrum. Now let's get to horror. I love horror. I love watching horror movies. I completely lost my sensitivity to horror movies, so now I can watch them before going to bed alone and I will still sleep like an angel. So I have two good recommendations that are new and they're great. The first one is Smile 2. This is a sequel to, of course, Smile 1, which was decent. I liked it. It was okay. It was a cool idea, but I don't think it was out of this world. But the second one is better, which is super rare because I don't remember finding many movies that the sequel is better than the first one. Smile 2 follows the same idea as the first one, which is essentially there's this demon that works kind of like a virus and he gets passed from person to person. This person that has the virus has to die in front of another person. When this other person sees that person die in a tragic and horrific way, he gets the demon himself and he gets tormented for a while until he finally dies and gets passed to the next one. But in this one is very special because the main character that gets infected, it's a superstar. This story choice is fantastic because this character has to deal with pressures that normal humans wouldn't have to, like performing in front of a gigantic crowd or having to work no matter how their mental state is. It is so stressful. I loved it. They have some visual effects that are incredible, between some match cuts, some transitions that are out of this world, and some acting effects that are super well done with some, I think, dancers combined with the smiles. It's so good. It's so good. And the sound design is top notch. So yeah, you should watch it. I give this one a 7.5. Really good. Now, following, the second horror movie that you should watch is The Substance. This new movie concept is fantastic. It makes you question how horrible it will be to get old. This movie is about Elizabeth Sparkles, which is a renowned aerobics superstar, and when she gets to 50, they fire her because she's too old. She starts to have a mental crisis because she feels unloved by the entire world and unsexy. So she stumbles upon this new scientific substance that will make a second clone of herself, but that is younger, and she will have to share her life half time old, half-time young. But things get really fast out of control. This movie is stressful. This movie is visually stunning. This movie contrasts an extremely pornographic image of this young lady with the degeneration of an old one, and it's super well executed. Now I'm gonna give it a 7 out of 10 because the story is great, the visuals are amazing, the sound is freaking fantastic, but I'm not sure if I love the ending. It is still good and probably has a big message, but I don't know why they made it like they made it. You have to watch it, maybe you will enjoy it, but for me it was not exactly what I was expecting, and maybe they could have done something different. Alright, let's get into comedy. It's time for some ha-has. First, The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent. This movie is not new, but damn, I loved it. If you grew up watching Nicolas Cage's movie, you would love this movie. This story is so meta, I love it.
Referring to itself or to the conventions of its genre, self-referential.
It's this friendship encounter between Nicolas Cage and Pedro Pascal playing as his super fan, and it is just fun. You watch it and from the beginning till the end, it's just enjoyable to watch. You will laugh. You want to be friends with them. Pedro Pascal is so lovable. I give it a 7.5 because it shouldn't exist, but it does, and it's so fun. Now the second one is actually new. It's called My Old Ass. The premise is quite simple. It's this young girl that takes a bunch of mushrooms and she encounters her future self that will start giving her advice of how to improve her life and not end up in the same situation she's in. Look, it's an easy movie to watch. It's not perfect, it's not out of this world amazing, but it is still enjoyable to watch. The reason why I put it in this list is because it has some good life advices that, honestly, I like listening to. So I give it a good 6 out of 10. But wait, what is that? It's the moisture alarm!
Yeah!
Yes, I cried. Of course I cried in this movie. It's a bit sad and it was nice, but it's a 2 out of 10. So it's not gonna make you soak out of yourself and dehydrate yourself, but it is pretty good. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe. We're trying to get to 100 subscribers. Thank you. Let's get back to the video. Now let's get into science fiction. You probably already saw this one, but if you haven't, you're missing out. I already saw it 3 times. It's Interstellar. I don't really have to explain the premise, but essentially it's a man that has a family and lives in a world that is falling to pieces. It's literally dying and he has to find a solution to save his family, so he gets sent into an intergalactic mission where he will have to go through black holes and find a potential new Earth to live in. This is a Christopher Nolan movie, maybe considered his best movie ever, and for many reasons, but the main one is executed extremely well. Look, I'm not a scientist, but I would assume that the scientific research that they put into this movie to make it accurate is top notch. The thing that made me love this movie so much is the way that he executed it makes it look realistic. It doesn't necessarily look like a movie of Marvel, where every image is cinematic and beautiful. It's executed in a way that looks realistic, like if you would put some cameras in a spaceship that would go into a black hole. It feels like that's how it would really look. I love that, and this movie truly made me feel insignificant. In some ways, it made me feel like, oh, I work hard, but definitely not as hard as Christopher Nolan, because this is impeccable. And to get to that level of production that is to that extent, you have to work extremely hard for a very long period of time. So yeah, props to him. He's out of this world, and I'm jealous of how hard he works. Of course, I give Interstellar a 9 out of 10 because it's practically perfect. It's not my favorite movie ever, but it's practically perfect. But what is that again? Oh yes, more moisture. It is a good 5 out of 10. I cried deeply, but I didn't cry that often, but I cried deeply. I got wet, I got like some nice moisture in my nose and everything. If you haven't seen it, you at least have seen the memes of Matthew McConaughey crying in front of a screen. Oh, that scene is harrowing. I cried so much and I knew it was coming and I was excited a bit because I was gonna cry like a little girl and I loved it. So yeah, very nice. All right, let's get into family movies. This one is perfect to watch it with your toddlers or little infants that for some reason are standing around you while you watch a movie. I didn't saw a single trailer for this movie, but when we stumbled upon it and realized that it was pretty good, I was surprised. It's called The Nutcracker and the Four Realms. It's a remaster of the classic tale of the Nutcracker. The thing that makes this movie special is the visuals. They opted for a weird mix between Alice in Wonderland and a theater play. I think it's amazing. Maybe if I was a little kid, I wouldn't be able to appreciate how weird and eccentric and nice the visuals are, but as an adult, I very much appreciate it because it looks completely different to everything that I've seen before. Nowadays, Disney movies and maybe Marvel movies, they all kind of seem the same. They look perfect, but they don't have a lot of soul. But this one surprised me. Now, the story is okay-ish, nothing very special or new, but still, the visuals are nice. I'll give it a 6 out of 10. And now for the movie genre that makes me cry the most, drama. I have 3 movies for you. First, Ghostlight. We can say this movie is about a family that has some emotional struggles. They fight all the time, the daughter has problems at school, the dad doesn't really like his job at all. So it's a superhuman and normal tale at the beginning. In some ways, his family reminded me of mine and the struggles that I've been through, so it was very relatable. The dad that is completely emotionally locked in stumbles upon a theater play, in which for some random reasons he will join. If you like a slow movie that feels very human, this is for you. I will give it a good 8 out of 10. The script is amazing. Wait a second, what is that? Of course, I cried so much, and this one I cried a lot. I got moist as I was wet, baby. I was wet all the way in my face. I was so wet they could have drenched me with a bucket and it would seem like nothing happened to me because I was already so wet from my tears. I will give it a 7 out of 10 in moisture spectrum. Alright, the next one is called Perfect Days. This one is for the lovers of slow movies with good images but not a lot of speeches. You will have to figure out kind of the narrative alone and by interpreting what they're showing to you. But it is brilliant. It is so well executed. I think there's not a lot of phrases inside the movie, but afterwards I felt great watching it. It makes you feel good because this movie, what it's really about is about enjoying and appreciating the small things in life. This movie is about Hirayama, a completely normal Japanese man that cleans toilets as a job. You will see him throughout his life, how he wakes up, takes care of his plants, go to work, has his little routine that is pretty similar every day, and that's pretty much it. And the fact that they managed to make a very powerful and meaningful movie with just that speaks loudly about it. Probably this is not for everybody, but for me it was right on point. I give it a good 8.5 out of 10. Didn't make me cry, I think. Oh yeah, it did. And the final dramatic movie is I Am Sam. This is a movie from 2001 that I never heard about, but I'm glad I watched. It is a beautiful story, but quite sad to watch. Prepare the tissues. This tale is about Sam, a man who's with special needs that ends up for some reason having to become a dad alone. He struggles a lot, but still he never gives up on his daughter. The main question of the movie is what defines a good parent? Someone that is actually qualified to be a good parent. I don't want to spoil you too much about the movie, but it's definitely a hard one to watch. It's very sad and frustrating because you fall in love with Sam. I'll give it a 7.5 out of 10. Yeah, moisture alarm, moisture alarm. Yes, I cried, of course. As you might have noticed, I cried with a lot of things. But this one made me cry, I think, once or twice. Wasn't that much of a drench, but still, it was moist enough. I'll give it a 2 out of 10 of moisture spectrum. As promised, here's the movie summary board. Feel free to screenshot it for the next time you're looking for a good movie. Anyways, those are the movies for this week. I'll see you next week for more movies. If you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this one about vision boards. I know, has nothing to do, but you know, I did it and it's pretty nice, so you might enjoy this one too. See ya!